increase, but the complexity as well. We're not talking about single shoplifters going into a store and grabbing an item or two. We're talking about criminal enterprises that have real hierarchy with basically pawns that come out here and do this theft, a lot of it. And they're working in concert to steal thousands of dollars in merchandise, often in one sweep. Okay, like the senator mentioned, Ulta Beauty in 8 months, $100,000 in theft they've reported to us. Our investigators have arrested 11 people for felony level charges out of there, wrapping up over $35,000 in that theft. But it's an ongoing battle that goes on every day for us up here. The people that we see come up here and commit these crimes, they're not Ontario County residents. They cross the lines. The ones that we've dealt with and others that we've identified, their ties are Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, and some of them are out of state. Now we're at the point, okay, where these are not just property crimes. If you probably saw, we had an investigator with the Chemung County Sheriff's Office get critically injured Friday night working a retail theft detail outside of Corning, trying to combat individuals in groups that are working in concert to steal property. And in their attempt to get away, he was caught by the vehicle and thrown, and he's in a hospital fighting for his life today. So this is not just property crime. These people will stop at nothing to get away. Just quickly, I want to mention that in addition to retail theft occurring at the stores, we've seen an uptick over the last several years of our shoppers are in trying to shop and have a positive experience, and their cars get broken into, and the people steal something with their identity, their checkbook, their credit cards, and they're off at another store making purchases of thousands of dollars, and they're out of the area before these people even know they've victimized. We've tracked some of these rings as far as Florida, and what we find out, our state, local, and county agencies up and down the East Coast are all looking at the same groups. So by all means, to have our federal partners be able to take the lead and help us with investigative resources and prosecution for these groups would be a huge help, not just for us with our resources, but for our community members and our shoppers that are up here trying to have a positive experience while they're supporting our local economy. So, Senator, thank you.
Sheriff. And he's made it clear, this is why you need the feds involved. These are not local folks. They're put up by gangs. And even when they arrest the local folks, the gangs find new people. Got to cut the snake off at the head. Questions on this subject?
Yeah, I'm assuming you already can enlist your federal partners if you can prove that chain of events, right? So what would be different?
Well, you have a national, once it's federal, you have them show that maybe the same thing happened in New Jersey, maybe the same thing happened in Maryland, maybe the same thing happened in California, and you can find by tracing from the bottom up who's really doing this, what kind of national crime gangs and crime syndicates are doing this.
So I guess have your federal partners agreed to take referrals of those cases when you think that there is a hierarchy involved?
Yeah, the feds will cooperate and are cooperating now, but using RICO, which they've never done, will give the feds and the locals more effectiveness.
Do they need any changes to RICO to do that? Or?
No, that's the point. We don't need legislation. I'm just asking the Justice Department today to do it.
So why haven't they been doing it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe because it's sort of a novel idea to use RICO. It's usually been for organized crime. This may not be your typical old-fashioned organized crime. It's a new kind of organized crime, and we're pushing. My job is to do oversight and push them to do things that they should be doing. This is one. Okay?
What is it that they're doing that is going to put them under RICO? Is there something in the law itself?
Yes, the law allows them to open up a RICO investigation. It's just up to the Attorney General and the local U.S. attorneys.
But what are these folks doing? You say they're going up and down the East Coast. How do you prove
Not just
that?
the East Coast, the whole country. Yeah. So they're all over.
Do we know where these groups that
No,
are
that's what we
hiring
want to
these
find
folks
out.
are
We want to
centered?
find out who's at the head of this and who's directing the people who came here to Ulta, Invicta, and in many other places. And that's what RICO will find out. They'll find out they have much better federal information. You know, the Canandaigua sheriff, even the Monroe County sheriff, doesn't have all the resources to follow this crime after crime, state after state, county after county.
I think the issue, probably the sheriffs behind you would tell you that they think that it's more of a, there are no repercussions for the lower level people, so they just keep doing it. So without
Not
any
you.
changes to state law, does the cycle just continue?
Look, I'm focusing on the federal, and we need to do everything, all kinds of things. But I'm focusing on the federal level as a federal official.
And obviously, we're imploring our legislators at Albany to look at some of these laws and help us out, give us tools in the toolbox to do the local level. But just going back to why the center is here, if you think about the violence occurring in the city of Rochester, we clearly, with our retail theft details, have painted a clear path through the pawn shops to the drug dealers in the city of Rochester that is fueling the violence in the city. So that's why RICO comes in behind us too. We can literally save lives. And the last thing I just want to hit on is, it's a theft from Malta. We're all paying. We all pay for that. They don't pay for that. They can't, right? They're a business. We're all, and the poorest people in our community are paying for these retail thefts. We all are paying for it. And the poorest people in our community are paying for it. And they're also paying violence in the city of Rochester from retail theft. We got a clear picture. Taking this federal is an obvious, beautiful step that we can take and go to the head of this thing also, but hold people accountable.
Great.
Are we seeing the same people doing this? Because a lot of times they come in, they get a ticket or whatever.
They could be.
And
Go
then
ahead.
they're right back out on the street, right, Sheriff?
Yes, the lower people that we're dealing with here locally, a lot of them are repeat offenders. We just arrested a individual a few weeks ago for significant theft at Alta, over and over and over. Right? I mean, another one. We had to wait to get out of jail in Buffalo before we could bring her here and get charged. Same thing, theft in Buffalo. But they're connected and they're working for people higher up that are having them come out and steal this.
Yeah, whether they arrest them or not here, they'll find somebody else, even if the person's in jail. So you got to stop these syndicates. Thank you, everybody.
Can I ask you one off topic, Senator?
In regards to the same topic, for Speaker Hasty has.
Yeah.
Do you have a reaction to?
No, I'm sticking to the federal level here. Yes.
One off topic, the TikTok bill that Congress has passed. Do you have a timetable on when you may consider?
Yeah,
that?
I am now consulting with my caucus to figure out the best path forward. We want to be effective in getting this done.
Do you have concerns about the privacy of people who use TikTok now?
Look, the bottom line is I got to consult with the members of my caucus and find the best path forward. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Yes, okay. All right, last one. Sorry. This tent is not going to last.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. We did have an investigation back in 2001 into the helicopter crash. They came up with a series of recommendations that may be now relevant even to Texas. So we're going to take those recommendations and try to put them in the defense bill, the upcoming defense bill. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Stay dry.
Senator.
Or drier. Thank you so much, Sheriff.
Appreciate it. Thank you.